Hi, my name is Alex, and today we're gonna start our new YouTube channel. We have built this YouTube studio from scratch within one day, and I'm gonna tell you more about IT, specifically product management, adventures, and of course, personal efficiency. I would like to make it the most useful YouTube channel in IT sphere. So today I'm gonna tell you how to become one of the most efficient and productive product managers in the market within a couple of years. So the first question is why you should trust me, and I have a couple of arguments. Firstly, I was a chief product officer in the billion-dollar Russian and international companies, specifically banks as Raiffeisen Bank, Alpha Bank, and currently Capital Bank. Secondly, I personally failed 2 startups. I have raised many rounds of investment, and actually I have conducted all the possible fails, and I want to share it with you. And thirdly, in the beginning of my career, I also have built many e-com and marketplace services with daily active users more than 10 million people as the biggest online mortgage marketplace in Eastern Europe, robo-advising service, and the biggest health marketplace. Also, we have built a VPN application for such companies as Anchor-Free, which has the user base more than 500 million users. So what problems product managers face in the start of their career? Firstly, there is no deep education for product managers. Like the only product manager programs available now is in United States in Carnegie Mellon University, Pennsylvania. The second problem is that online courses, honestly in my opinion, they do not cover the deep skills which you need in professional work. The third problem, as a result, you cannot find job. You really struggle to find your first job and great experience there. The fourth problem is that there are different spheres which you should deep in to understand product managers, and there is no possibility to learn these areas rapidly. So the step number 1, you need to understand and learn the different skills to be a good product manager, because your team is based on different spheres like developers, designers, analytics, lean experts, lean analytics, data analytics, and all kind of analytics, and so on. And there is actually a popular model on what spheres the product manager should focus. It is customer sphere, technology, and UX/UI sphere. The Gartner has expanded these spheres to more of them and has added finance, support, marketing, and all other. But my expanded model looks in a quite a different way. I would like to save the UX/UI part and technology part, and I would like to split the business part on more parts, like a lot of parts here. So I would like to split business part to analytics, management, marketing, and research. And actually we can expand it even more, because UX/UI part you can split to app, web design, 3D illustrations, and cinema 4D, and so on. Actually, the development part is the most complex one. You can split it to backend, front-end, DevOps, DevSecOps, and so on. Analytics part you can split to marketing, business analytics, and product analytics. Management part is split by project, product, strategy, and finance. Research, you can make quantitative research and qualitative research, so different kinds of customer development. And of course, marketing, the final part, is split to SMM, performance marketing, and all other spheres of marketing. So step number 2, choose your focus area and be the best there. Like as a product manager, you should be good in all the skills mentioned above, but nevertheless, in some of them, you should be some kind of superhuman. Like as for me, I worked a lot with UX/UI, because my first job was the design studio, and we paid a lot of attention to the customer experience, user experience, and the user interfaces. So I really love some excellent UIs with beautiful designs and without seamless experience for the users. My second focus area, it is analytics, because I did a lot of A/B tests. I worked a lot with amplitude and so on. And my third focus area, of course, is management, because as I used to work in the startups, I paid a lot of attention to hiring people, motivating them, to ask them, please work with me without any money, just I give you the share of my startup, and so on. And actually it was a wonderful but very risky experience for me. So the step number 3, start your first work. It is actually the most hard step, and you can ask me how I can find the first work without any experience. You can go to the internship to the big companies, but in my opinion I would recommend you the startups. You can start your own startup, or you can be hired in the other startup. So actually it is the hardest part. So when I was 18, I was studying in university. It was the best economics university in Russia, called Higher School of Economics. And honestly, I just wanted to start some regular type of business like coffee shop, online store or something like that. But then I was in the flight from Moscow to London. It was the last flight of the company called Transero, so the plane was almost empty. It was just me and a couple of other people, and I was watching the film Social Network about Facebook, about Mark Zuckerberg. So after watching the film, I just questioned myself, like, is it so easy, or is it hard, or is it possible you can, without any real estate, without cars, without infrastructure, you can build and spread your own business all over the world? It was a magic for me, and I've decided that I want to focus on IT without have any experience there, because I was studying not in IT faculty, I was studying in economics faculty. So what advantages do you have working in startup? Firstly, you will deep in all areas we have already mentioned in the last step. Secondly, you will constantly develop your proactivity and creativeness, because you cannot be not creative. You should develop the product from zero, from the empty list. And you cannot be not proactive, because you should find people, you should attract other founders, and so on. You will get network of other startuppers and entrepreneurs, because you always will visit some conferences, startup shows, and combinators, and so on. It is harder to be a startupper than a product manager. I swear you that when I was 18 and I was working in startup, in my own startup, it was 10x harder than to be a chief product officer in billion-dollar companies. Moreover, you can parallel it with your work. So if you start to work in IT and you go to work to some startup, you can in parallel work in your basic work, or you can study in your university. And of course, you can make all the mistakes in advance. Because for me, it's impossible to be a great entrepreneur without an experience. You can read books, you can watch YouTube, you can listen to me, but without making these all mistakes, which are possible, like dozens of them, you will not be a great IT product manager or businessman. So step number 4, follow other startups. Actually, it's a very important step, because it will allow you to be more creative than 95% of other product managers which do not follow other companies and other startups, except their competitors. It will allow you to develop such skill as watchfulness. For example, you need to draw some map in your application, and you can remind yourself that Airbnb has a great map which with all events, with all experiences, and it looks great. We can just make the same UX as they, not to develop a bicycle by ourselves. Or I don't know, TikTok has a wonderful feed, like with good algorithm which is clear to user. We can do something like that for our feed. Or moreover, Stripe has a wonderful API portal. Why we cannot make such a confident API portal? So what you need to do to build your watchfulness? You can go to the pitches of other startups. You can read TechCrunch like on daily basis. You can browse the Crunchbase, the biggest network of all the startups, where you can find every startup, the information about their founder, raise investments, business model, competitors, even links to LinkedIn of the founders and stuff. Of course, you can browse the websites of such invest funds as 500 Startups and YC, Y Combinator, because all their startups are excellent ones. And you can just go to their website, understand the business model, understand the logic, look on their UX UI, and copy some of their functions. Watchfulness is a great opportunity for you to think out ideas rapidly. Personally, as far as you understood, my focus area is financial technologies, fintech. And of course, instead of looking to my direct competitors, which I of course follow every day, like high street banks in Europe or United States, I constantly follow some fintech startups. For example, it's neobanks as Revolut, N26 or Monzo. It is revenue-based investment platform called Pipe. It is after subscription platform called Fair. It is Blue Wine, the company which give you loans offline for your business. It's a magic for me. It's Zillow, it's the biggest online mortgage marketplace in the world. So the step number 5, of course you should learn a lot. And the first step is books. You should read a lot of books about product management. Honestly, the 90% of books which are connected somehow to product management or product development is a shit. But I have 3 my favorite books, and which, it's a paradox honestly, but the less water in the book, it is the book called Blue Ocean Strategy, ocean, yeah. So I like it because it helps you to understand how to create some innovative ideas and how to develop your creativeness. The second book is the Mom Test, and the third book is 0 to 1, written by Peter Thiel, who is the investor of such companies as Facebook and Eventbrite, and also the developer of many other cool startups like PayPal. Also in the screen you can see the other books which I would like to recommend you to read. So what about online courses, you will ask me? Actually, you will wonder, but the only online course which I would like to recommend you is developed by some Russian guy who worked previously in Facebook, called Go Practice. It is excellent, wonderful course, because in short time you can understand the basics of product management, product analytics, strategy, product growth, and even marketing. They translated this course to English, and it's not advertisement. I even do not know him personally, but nevertheless it's really awesome because it's like in the mode of chatbot. You communicate with your colleagues, you communicate with your virtual boss, and they give you tasks, you discuss them, and also you work in such a great tool which I love, and I will mention it in the future videos, called Amplitude, the best product analytics tool in the world. It's also not advertisement, I take 0 for it. The second thing is Y Combinator YouTube shows. It is the only channel in YouTube except my one which you need to follow, because Y Combinator videos from founders is wonderful. They cover such topics as unit economics, strategy, building startup from zero, and so on. The third part here is coding. You will ask me for what I need to code. I am product manager, but honestly the core part of product development is always coding, because you should understand that developers, not you, is the key to success. Of course you are driver of success, but the key of success are developers, and they will not respect you if you will not understand them. You should understand what is difference between backend and frontend. I'm kidding, you should understand it in school. You should understand what is CRUD operation, what is the difference between microservices, monolith, and module architecture. You should understand what kind of languages is better to use in different situations. You should understand the basics of data science. You should understand how algorithms works. In basic side, because without it, it will not be possible for you to make productive meetings with developers. Their language will be like a Chinese language for you. You need to speak the same language with your developers. It is very important. Moreover, you need to join some network of other people, of other founders, of other product managers. Go to conferences and just get acquainted with them. For sure, you should follow different channels of product managers in Medium, in LinkedIn, in Facebook, in Telegram. There are a lot of useful chat of product management now in Telegram. So, step number 6. Oh, I have no more fingers in my hand. Okay, so you should always solve cases, to understand what products, what projects, or what startups you can launch rapidly or not. So judging by statistics, the biggest problem of startup fail is no market need. Is the statistics by CB Insights, which is common knowledge. To minimize the risk of no market risk, you should always solve different kinds of cases. Like what I mean by case, I will show you soon. Like how to generate ideas for these cases. It can be work assignments from different companies. It can be your own startup ideas, or it can be just ideas how you can develop your favorite products. For example, let's imagine that you are product manager of YouTube and you're responsible for monetization of YouTube, and you have a great idea to make paid subscription for specific channels, like to be a private member of some channel. It will be not YouTube, it will be some kind of OnlyFans, of course, but nevertheless. And you need to generate hypotheses, define cost dev, and understand whether you should launch this feature finally or not. So I have an excellent frame of how to develop your own startup, how to frame your business idea, like for one day, for example. I will make a specific video for it, but it consists of following steps. You should compare your startup for another. Honestly, this frame was developed for my one of startup ideas. It's after subscription company. I will share it for you, of course. Like the first step is compare with analogs, like not even comparisons, because after subscription can be compared with taxi, with purchase of your own car, or with car sharing. It's the second step is define the value. Like you need to understand the pain, tasks, and wishes of your target audience. The third step is define the business model, describe it, which consumers, which dealers, which cost structure, sales channels do you have. The step number 4 is customer development. You should generate hypotheses and generate questions for this hypothesis and to check them at least on some small amount of people. Of course, it's competitor analysis and positioning of your company. Then you continue with some financial work. I know that many people do not want to work with Excel or spreadsheets, but at least some simple formulas can help you to understand whether your idea is profitable or not. So step number 7 is market sizing. Step number 8 is unit economics. You should understand like will your business be profitable at least for one unit, because if it will not be profitable for one unit, it will not be profitable for the whole company, including some fixed costs. Like then it's P&L model or financial model, and finally you develop the backlog of your MVP, minimal valuable product. Frankly speaking, to make this case even better, in the end you can develop the presentation based on this Google Sheet. It can be such an awesome presentation. I also show we call the startup Just Drive, and as you see, we have the same steps as we had in Google Sheet, but it like represented with less details, but with better design, of course. So the step number 7, like it's like the less obvious step in my list, but use job interviews on your advantage, on your favor. What do I mean? Like before the job interview, be brave to say, I want to take 20 minutes in the end of the interview to ask you my questions. For what do you need it? Because of course I can share you like how we work in banks, like how I work in Capital Bank, but during the interviews, people like me and other product managers, they like have more motivation to share you some more details, even like private details about the business, because they want to hire you. So what about you should ask your future recruiters or your future product manager or your bosses? You can ask them about your tech stack. You can ask what key metrics do you have for your business. You can ask about business model, unit economics, financial model. Or also ask about what analytics tools they use. Do they use just Tableau or Power BI, or they even use Amplitude or Mixpanel, some advanced product analytics tools? Do they implement data science? What development process do they have? Is it like waterfall? Is it Scrum or some other kinds like Spotify model? Like what is the structure of the teams of the business? What roles do they have? So what people you will manage in the future? Of course, ask them about their strategy and plans. And finally, ask them about how they implement the experiments. Like all this information is a private information which companies do not share in the internet. but it will allow you to remember this information and to use it in the future while creating your new products. So actually that's all. Like, what about I will tell you in the future? I will tell you about the A/B tests, about product analytics, about financial models like unit economics and P&L model. I will tell you more about backlog prioritization. And of course, I will invite a great people, which I personally know from United States, Russia, and here Azerbaijan, who like really advanced in their spheres to tell you about development, like backend, Java, Kotlin development, front-end development, how to become a Flutter developer, and so on. I will invite wonderful designers. I will invite the director of our banking design. So I will try to invite a lot of people who will share knowledge in their domain expertise. Like, and the final point, like, it's like, what is the holy grail of successful product manager? What is the one skill which I want to highlight for you, like, which will make you successful? Actually, it is the simple skill asking the questions. Like, as I mentioned before during the interview, ask the questions about your future work. Ask the questions of other teams which work together with you, or even which are not connected with you in different companies. Ask entrepreneurs. Ask a lot of questions. Ask right questions. I ask clever questions. This is the most important skill for product manager, because you should be always constantly ask questions your people, your colleagues, and even yourself, like whether you should do it or not. So finally, subscribe my channel. Like, it will be a lot of interesting things. I don't want to share some water with you. I want to make it the most useful IT channel in IT sphere. See ya. Have a good day.